This is my dad, he's pretty old. He likes eating hot stuff and making knives. So if you like this, please subscribe.
Or don't. I don't care either way.
Hey, don't interrupt me. Anyways, it's Spirited Reaper.
Welcome back, y'all. Right there. We're going to be working on this today. A little bit of forge welding. Alright, we're going to take some flux, go right here, down the crack of it. 2 pieces of meat. I'm just using regular old, what is that, 40 mule or 20 mule borax. This flux works just fine. Put that in there like that, and we'll put it back in the fire. Now, there's going to be a lag in here. What you're looking for is for the entire piece to be like a glowing stick, like the sun. Just when you think it's hot enough, let it soak some more. Now these are 2 thin pieces. It's 24 layers of 1084 and 15 and 20 steel twisted. What I did was I took this little chunk off the billet that I made, cut it in half, went over to my buddy Mike's at 7th Dragon Knife Works. He tacked them back up together, and I put one facing out, one facing in, so it should give an interesting pattern. You can see kind of the pattern right there a little bit. Maybe not on the camera, but it's there. But we're going to let this get heated up, and we'll be right back for some hammering. So stand by. This is still the Mr. Volcano Hero single burner forge. Running on just a 20-pound tank. Now, as you can see, getting pretty close to forge weld tip. Want the whole thing to be nice and bright. Yes, we're going to pull it out of there. Got the 2.5 pound cross beam. That's what we're going to use. Just light blows. Pick your spot, either at the end or the other end or the middle. Try to stay in a line. Just all the way down it, flip it, all the way down it again. Here's how I do it. Flip it. Right back into the fire. I'll probably take 3 or 4 passes that way to ensure that my weld's stuck. I'll throw a little bit more borax on it here in just 2 seconds. Get it out right here. The borax stuff I'm using, like I said, is this. The camera's facing backwards, but you know, look at it in a mirror or something. It's 20 mule team borax. It will eat up your fire brick, so make sure you do have a fire brick down in the base of this, and dedicate 1 brick to when you're forge welding. Swap it out, put a fresh brick in, and go with normal stuff. Alright, here we go again. Now, this part is sketchy. As you're hitting this, anything that's flying off of that is hot. Does not feel good. No touchy. But it's starting to become 1 or 48, however you want to word it. Nice easy taps. You don't have to beat it real hard. I mean, I guess you could, but depending on how good you are at hammer control. If you swing real hard, glance it, it can shear the two welds apart, and then you're back to square one and start over again. So, slow and steady. Round number 3. Starting to get a little bit harder on the hits. Flip it and go again. Starting to look like one solid piece. You notice the sound of it when it hits. There's not as much ting. It's a little more of a thud. It means you're getting one solid piece. Now if you notice, I got the choke on that about half open. I don't know what PSI I'm running at, just by ear, by the way it looks. See how it's got some flame sticking out the front? Even when the workpiece is out, you still get that flame. I think that it's called something important probably, but I'm just a redneck, so something about dragon's breath or something other. Apparently it's burning up all the fuel that's in there, and that's why it's spewing out. So that's supposed to be good, like an oxidizing flame or something like that maybe, I don't know. If I'm saying it wrong, Google it, correct me in the comments, beats me. We're about ready to give this thing one more good smack and see what we look like. What she looks like now. We'll go ahead and widen it out a little bit and maybe draw it out a little bit. See what it comes out to. All right, I went ahead and took the leg or the handle off of it. Got my pliers back out. Started working on a tip for it. Good tip is don't touch this when it's hot, and don't eat yellow snow. That's another good tip. Just working the tip into it. Give it some sort of purpose in life, a little stabby device. I don't know if you'd call it a knife, but it's a stabby device. If you put knife on Facebook, they gripe, so stabby device seems to be okay. For some reason, you can't sell homemade knives, like this cool little pepper cutter that I made. You see that? It's a Santano style. It's got a squirrely little handle to it, rosewood, some fake marble up top, but that's a weapon according to Facebook. But yet you're allowed to sell crack pipes and stuff like that. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Let's see what this looks like. Starting to come together and look a little bit better. a couple more passes, we'll see what it looks like. Alright, working on the tang part right now. Starting to look like something. Oh man, fun, fun, fun. Now I got it over the edge here. I want to stretch this tang out. Remember, smoking is bad for you. No, no. Alright. Get back on this tang for just a minute. Kind of tapering it down. It was a little thick here at the transition, and I didn't want it to be too much drama on my cheap Harbor Freight 1x30 sitting over there. Let's see here, let's see what we got. About dropped it. Timeout. There's what we got. Decent little handle. It'll hold at least 4 fingers. We'll work on the tip and get some bevels in it a little bit. I probably won't forge the bevels very deep or very much because it is Damascus. So if I grind through to get at the bevels, the more I grind it, the more the layers will pop out there on it. So it was 24. It's twisted up. And then I laid them this way and this way, so they're sideways. So one twist is going this way, one twist is going that way. So each side of the blade should look different. And maybe it'll look cool, maybe it'll look stupid. I don't know, we'll find out. Switching to a smaller cross peen. We'll work on the tip just a little bit. Try to get it a little more defined without, you know, beating it to crap. Starting to get there. I'm going to fatten it up a little bit right through here. Alright, for this, I'm going to use this 3-pound Harbor Freight hammer. I cut the whole back of it off to give it a really, really good forward balance to it. It's got a lot of forward weight. So I don't have to swing near as hard. I can just kind of let it do its job. Remember, if the steel is hot enough, you don't have to beat on it real hard. It will move. Every steel is different. Some steels don't like moving unless they're just blazing hot. And as soon as it starts losing its color, get it back in the forge. Don't beat on cold steel when it's cooling off, because you can or will develop stress fractures somewhere in the blade that you won't find until it's too late. We're going to refine this tip and the spine of it just a little bit more. Switch back to this smaller hammer. maybe a little bit right in here in this area. Again, keep your tongs or your pliers cooled off. My handy little pumpkin. Happy Halloween in a few more months. It's friggin' hot as balls here. But it's fun. Forging is very relaxing, I guess. Just to get something hot, run the risk of burning living crap and burn your eyebrows off your head. Stuff like that. You get all that thrill of that risk, plus you get to make something. Sometimes it turns out looks cool. Sometimes it's just a hot steel turd. But that's how you learn. I haven't been doing this that long. I think I'm at like basically, I'm still under 2 years at piddling, so slowly but surely. Remember to tip your knife just a little bit where the spine is off of the back of the anvil. Just kind of glancing blows. You can't really tell, but the spine is off the back. It's kind of twisting it almost. And then work your way all the way to the tip. Make sure to alternate on each side. Don't just bang away on one side or you'll have a lopsided knife. You'll move everything to one side, not the other. All right. Set that down. Turning everything off. All right. Here's what we got. I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see to know that it has some sort of layers to it just off of looking at it. But that is two 4-inch pieces, or yeah, about 4-inch pieces, about as wide as the anvil, pieces that were 24 layers each, and it did forge weld. I'll hit it with the grinder down the edges and down the back and everything, give it a test etch just to make sure, but I'm about 99.9% sure it did, because if not, when I went to hit it like this sideways, if it ain't forge welded, it would have sheared apart and blew apart and been just junk. Everything looks like it held pretty tight. So to the people out there that were wondering, can I forge weld in a single burner Mr. Volcano? Yes, most certainly can. And I did not have the PSI cranked all the way to the max. I just had it where it was decently loud. Kind of sounded like a jet engine from a distance. Not real hardcore. But that right there is what we ended up with. Pull out the handy dandy tape here. Let's see. Got basically dang near a little over 4 inches of blade and 8.5 overall. So not a bad little piece for, you know, just piddling. So hopefully that helped somebody out there to learn a little bit of basics on forge welding and what color you need. And you know, these two steels, 1084 and 15 and 20, both high carbon steels, and they love each other. They stick to each other more times than not. Well, if you like this video and you want to see more random forge stuff, throw it in the comments. If you don't throw it in the comments. Doesn't matter either way. My little redneck hammer. Ding the bell if you need to. Otherwise, like, subscribe, all those crazy things. I'm gonna let this thing cool off. Another little helpful piece of advice: when you're done, grab your choke. Don't grab it by your bare hands. Don't do that. That's dumb. That's hot. You know, me in here saying no touchy all the time. Well, guess what? I touchied. It was hot. Throw this choke the rest of the way up and tighten that down, because people are having issues with their hose burning. But a lot of the people that have their hose burning do not have this style right here that's set up with a cutoff valve and their hose sideways. but that will keep some of that heat from inside the forge from billowing out the top and causing you massive issues down the road. The hose is, yeah, it's warm to the touch. They probably could have did something better with that. I may have to upgrade hoses at some point in life. But other than that, stay spicy, keep hammering on. Don't be a douche canoe, you know, the normal things. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And have fun.